It's the NRT Insider, an extended look inside the music and ministry of your favorite artists. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm NRT founder Kevin McNeese, and on this edition of the NRT Insider, we speak with new artist Davii. Born in Brooklyn, New York, and raised on the island of Puerto Rico, Davii grew up with a passion for music and art. And today, we'll hear exactly where that passion, along for his desire to communicate God's love for all, has taken him. His music is filled with his personal stories and experiences, and we'll unpack some of those in the coming 30 minutes or so. I've got Davii in the studio now, so let's get started. Hey, Davii, thanks so much for joining us today. Okay, so you're pretty new on the music scene, but you've been creating music for a while now, starting in the rock world and now embracing more of an electronic vibe. So talk to us about how you got started in music in the first place and how you've transitioned from rock to EDM.
Yeah, so my first instrument was an electric guitar. I chose that because at the time, all I listened to was rock music. So my only musical influence was that. I kind of convinced my brother to play drums too. I mean, he got pretty good real fast, so we started a band. Later, I moved to the US with that band to hopefully get our name out to a much bigger scene, but through the years people kept leaving the band, including my brother. There was a point where I was the only original member left. You know, it's just very hard to find a group of people that think the way you think. It's not that I was suspecting that, but I did want to play Christian music, and finding people that were Christian, talented, and hardworking, it's just hard. So time passed and I started listening to EDM, and I love how energetic and kind of aggressive it is, but it's still full of emotion. So I found myself incorporating a lot of electronic sounds into my music, so I was already learning how to produce it. And then I also started seeing the rise of EDM in secular music and in the Christian music, so with guys like Capital Kings and Davii. So I wrote my first EP and put it out just to see where it would go. When I dropped my first song, the feedback was incredible, better than anything I've ever done. So I started getting offers for production and playing live shows. And to tell you the truth, I kind of grew out of rock music a little. EDM does have a bad reputation in the rock scene, but when I saw how difficult it can be to create an EDM track that sounds original, I just fell in love with it. So here I am.
Do you remember some of the first Christian bands you came in contact with?
I grew up in Puerto Rico with my grandparents. My household wasn't really that musical, but at some point I started listening to rock music thanks to MTV, and I guess the time they used to play music videos. I found myself on Hot Topic a lot, listening to new records, and then one day I heard this band called Under Oath. The new record at the time, They're Only Chasing Safety, had just came out. This thing changed my life, man. The words to some of these songs really did something to me. So Under Oath was definitely a big influence in my life, as well as bands like POD and Relient K.
All right, finding some Christian music at Hot Topic. I never thought I'd hear that, but man, that's awesome. Okay, so you moved to Florida from Puerto Rico at age 19 to pursue Christian music, and that must have presented some early challenges right away.
When I moved to Florida to pursue music, I was pretty young for sure. I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to get there. Being young and I guess a new Christian at the time, I definitely made a lot of mistakes. I guess I fooled myself into thinking that my heart was in the right place and that I was making music to glorify God, but I later realized that I was only making music that would glorify me instead, you know? So I slowly grew into the mindset that I have now, but I still struggle with this, you know? It's something that I'm working on for sure.
Well, let's talk about your current EP. Now, there's 4 tracks, and you don't shy away from some controversial topics. In fact, you open the EP with a song about abortion.
So I like to call my music honest music. The reason behind it is that my words really do mean a lot to me, and they always come from a very personal experience. The first song on the EP is called Love Lost. The title is almost a response to the phrase that gets thrown out there a lot, which is love won. I just said to myself, how can someone say love won in one sentence and then in the next sentence say abortion is okay and that killing a baby in the womb is somehow okay? So this song speaks from the perspective of a child in the womb. With this, I'm not trying to change people's mind as much as I want their hearts to change. Musically, this is the first EDM track I ever did. It's a little different than my other songs for sure, but I love playing it live and telling people what the words mean. There's always someone in the crowd that needs to hear this, and I've already had people come up to me telling me how much they needed to hear that. It's just very awesome how God can use even music to save lives, you know?
Good stuff, and I love the part about changing people's hearts and not their minds. Let's listen to Love Lost on Davii's latest EP titled Evermore. That's available now.
You love me for who I am, not the bad that I've become. You care for me, I am so weak. No, you'll never see, no, you'll never see the man I was meant to
Evermore is the title track on the EP and was the lead single, so Davii, talk to me about this one.
Evermore's my baby, man. When I came up with the vocal melodies, I just couldn't get them out of my head. So musically, it's also my favorite song on the record. The lyrics speak about how I found God. It was a point in my life where I had nothing to live for, I guess, like many of us. When I became a Christian, I knew that I had to leave a lot of things behind, so I slowly did. And I guess the song speaks about not holding on to the past, but looking to the future.
All right, here's Evermore, the title track on Davii's latest EP that's available at digital outlets and streaming now.
I've woken up to find that I've lost it all. My hope is gone, and I feel like giving up. But in my darkest days, I saw your face. I called your name. I heard you say, it's time for better days. I found love, I found hope, forever, forevermore. I found you, now I'm letting go, forever and evermore. I'm holding on to forever, letting go of a breakthrough. I'm holding on to your promises, holding on to forever, letting go of a breakthrough. I'm holding on to forever.
Awesome music from new artist Davii. We're getting to know him and his latest EP on the NRT Insider. Davii, you've got a lot of passion for filmmaking and video production. Anybody can go to your YouTube and check out what you're working on now. It's pretty cool stuff. How is all of that influencing your art moving forward?
Yeah, so I think I filmed my first short film when I was like 11 or 12 with this like camcorder. So yeah, movies is just something that I've always been really interested in. So about 5 years ago, I made my first music video for my band. I think like a week later, I was already filming another music video for another band. So it just took off. I created a company called Filino Media, and I've been doing that full time since. The idea behind Davii is that it's not only about music, it's about visuals too. I love that at this point I have control over my art, like 100%, from music to artwork and the music videos. So it makes it all flow together very well. I do have plans of hopefully creating like a short film that goes with maybe an EP or an album at some point. I guess I'm just waiting for the right time for that.
Okay, let's get back to your EP. The track Freedom, it just makes me smile.
Freedom is just a very happy song for sure. Years after I became a Christian, I started having doubts about God's existence in a way, and many of my friends had left the faith, so I just kind of started feeling the same way. Somehow I did want God to be real, so instead of looking for a way out, I searched for answers to like my questions. And apologetics was a big help in this. People like William Lane Craig and Ravi Zacharias, they help a ton. And I guess movies like God's Not Dead, it's really good. The evidence for Jesus and God became very clear to me, but more than that, just knowing that Jesus really died on the cross and that his body, like, I guess escaped the grave, just fills me with joy, man. The title of the song is a response to a close person that told me that he didn't want to be a Christian because he wanted to be, I guess, free. I just think that if you believe that God doesn't exist and that when we die, that is it, we would all be just slaves to like our own grace, you know? So I believe that real freedom comes when you get a chance to know God, I guess the God of the universe. So I made a happy sounding track to make you want to dance and jump with joy. And knowing that through Christ we are, I guess, really, truly free.
Dude, amen. Great word. Okay, here's Freedom from Davii's latest EP titled Evermore. It's available now.
What is freedom if we're all slaves to the death? We're all slaves to the grave. I was starting to think that there's no way for us to make it out alive, but I refuse to believe that death was all there is and our existence means nothing. So I went out to find the answers to questions I never knew. And I found you.
Davii, the EP wraps with Innocence. Tell me about this song.
This is the very first track I released as Davii, so I really love the music on it, and I feel like it's very original sounding in a way. And it kind of defines where my music was at the time. The lyrics are awesome for sure. I wanted to speak about sin and addictions, but in a way that was also relatable to other things. In the song, I'm asking God to literally drag me out of my mind. It's very hard to hear his voice when we have our heads filled with sin. So one of my favorite lines I've ever written is also in this song when I say, "Bring me back to the days when I was young, when I was safe. Innocence was all I knew, and my heart cried out for you." I wrote that a long time ago, and I'm just glad that I finally put it out in this song.
And here's the final track off Davii's latest EP titled Evermore, available now.
It drags me down, like the ground beneath my filthy hands. Where did my heart go? I can hear the beat within my chest. It's killing me so easily. Drag me down, my silence screaming loud. Drag me out, I can't seem to kill the sound. Been down this could be fun. Between dead and back to life, between darkness and light. I need your love to come alive. Without your love, without you, I won't make it another day. Without your love, without you, I won't make it another day. Without you. Bring me back to the days when I was young, when I was safe. Innocence was all I knew. My heart cried out for you. Bitter whispers, but sounds me when I am dead. Where did it all go? I can hear these voices in my head. It's killing me so easily. Drag me out, my silence screaming loud. Drag me out, I can't seem to kill the sound. Been down this could be fun. Between dead and back to life, between darkness and light. I need your love to come alive. Without your love, without you, I won't make it another day. Without your love, without you, I won't make it another day. Without your love, without you, I won't make it another day. Without your love, without you, I won't make it another day. Bring me back to the days when I was young, when I was safe. Innocence was all I knew. My heart cried out for you,
Davii, the EP cover art is quite interesting. It features a side shot of you next to a guy in a mask holding a lantern. There's lots of other stuff on it, but there's got to be more to it here. Talk to me about what this cover is conveying.
I made the artwork after I filmed the music video for the single, and it's basically the video and a photo. When I think of the title Evermore, I see the universe. I see how incredible it is, and I see how the creator of it all created us in his image. And I mean, that's just crazy to me. So that us being so small compared to the universe are still God's most important creation. And so I added the stars inside of us to represent that in a way we are bigger than the universe. There's also the masked guy holding the light. Besides being in the artwork and in the videos, you can think of him as part of Davii. Behind the scenes, it's just me, but for live shows and visuals, he's going to be a big part of it. The hand in the mouth, it's basically to represent that I will be talking about things that some people might not want to say, and the light in his hand represents the light that we should all carry as Christians, I guess, no matter the consequence.
Man, I love the intentionality of what you put into that shot. Great work. Okay, so you've got the 4-song EP that came out in October of 2016, and you just released a killer cover of Hills and Valleys by Torrin Wells. What's next?
I guess, first of all, Hills and Valleys is an incredible song. I remember being out on the road and my wife texted me saying that I had to listen to it. So, I mean, she knows me pretty good. A few weeks ago, I was looking for a song to cover and do a remix of, and this song just came to my mind over and over again. Torrin Wells is an incredible singer, and I kind of didn't know if I was going to be able to pull it off, but I still tried it. I guess a couple of weeks after I recorded it, we put it out, and the feedback has been incredible. I mean, even Torrin Wells shared it on Twitter, and I guess that's pretty cool. And we're working on some like remixes for other artists and getting ready to produce my next record. We're just very excited about the direction that Davii is heading, and I just can't wait for people to hear my new music.
Well, let's listen to the cover. Here's Davii's take on the #1 hit from Torrin Wells. It's Hills and Valleys, available at all digital outlets and streaming now.
I've walked among the shadows, you've wiped my tears away. I felt the pain of heartbreak, and I've seen the brighter days. And I've progressed to heaven from my lowest place, and I've held the blessings got to give and take away. No matter what I have, your grace is enough. No matter where I am, I'm standing on your love. On the mountains I will bow my life to the one who set me there. In the valley I will lift my eyes to the one who sees me there. When I'm standing on the mountain, I didn't get there on my own. When I'm walking through the valley, and I'm not alone. You're God of the hills and valleys, hills and valleys. God of the hills and valleys. I am not alone. I'm not alone. I've watched my dreams get broken, and you I hope again. No matter what, I know I'm safe inside your hands. On the mountains I will bow my life to the one who set me there. In the valley I will lift my eyes to the one who sees me there. When I'm standing on the mountain, I didn't get there on my own. When I'm walking through the valley, and I'm not alone. You're God of the hills and valleys, hills and valleys. God of the hills and valleys. I am not alone. Padre, tú solo las quitas la alegría y dolor. Sobre todo reinarás, pues siempre más. Padre, tú solo las quitas la alegría y dolor. Sobre todo reinarás, pues siempre más. On the mountains I will bow my life, en el valle te veré, mi Dios. When I'm standing on the mountain, I didn't get there on my own. When I'm walking through the valley, and no, I'm not alone. No, I'm not alone. No estoy solo. Padre, tú solo las quitas la alegría y dolor. Sobre todo reinarás over it all.
Davii, you recently played Creation Festival. How was that experience, and what is a show with Davii like?
I can literally say that Creation Festival changed my life. It was the first time playing a festival, you know, and when I got the email to play, I didn't know what to expect, but I had the feeling that it was going to be an incredible opportunity. So, I mean, it was. I mean, people that were just amazing and treated me better than than I deserved. And I'm just hoping to come back next year. Our last show, so it's a little wild, you know. I honestly just want people to have fun, so my goal is to be like a clean alternative to like a nightclub or an EDM festival. So I bring the mask guy to my shows as well, to keep it interesting. And at the moment, I have my brother wear it. So our show is very, I guess, interactive, I'd say. And I like to change it, I guess, depending on the event. I sing my original songs, but we also like DJ other producer tracks and to make our show like more dynamic, you know.
Well, in today's Christian music, it's not very often to find an artist who can reach the English and Spanish speaking markets. How do you feel about your ability to do that? And what is your vision long term, reaching the Latino market?
So I grew up in a bilingual family, and from a young age, I listened to Spanish music as well as English music. And I remember a few years ago when Carrie Joe put out a record in English and Spanish, and I thought that was genius for sure. That's kind of what I want to do with Davii. I love to have songs in both markets, English and Spanish. It'd be incredible to tour in South America singing in Spanish and then tour the US singing in English. I feel like Davii can do so much more and reach so many more people this way. And also, there's really not a lot of Christian pop music in Spanish, so that would really separate me from other Spanish singers, for sure.
All right, man. Well, we certainly wish you the best, as we need musicians praising the name of Jesus in all countries, so that is way cool to hear. Davii, thank you so much for joining us and allowing us to discover your amazing music. I can't wait for more in the near future.
Thank you so much for having me. And I just want to let people know that if you want to find out more about Davii, go to my website, daviimusic.com. See you soon.
You bet, man. Take care.
It's the NRT Insider, an extended look inside the music and ministry of your favorite artists. Thanks for joining us.